All right, guys, today we're going to talk about how to draw a Laurel Burch cat. And in another video, I'm going to show you how to change the face to make it a dog instead, if you would rather do a dog. So I'll do that here in just a little bit. But first, we're going to start with the cat. I'm going to give you two options for which cat body you want to do. You could do a cat that's going to be sitting up, or you could do a cat that's going to have an arching back. So you can choose either cat, but both of them are gonna start with the face, okay? I want you to remember for both of them that you need to draw big. You want everything to fit the space, okay? And if it feels too big, it's fine. It's okay if it gets bigger than it's supposed to be. I'd rather you do that than doing smaller, okay? So for your cat, for the face, on the one that's sitting up, we're gonna start with the bottom of the nose. For this one, we're doing the same thing. We're starting with the bottom of the nose, okay? And then we're gonna do two sort of slightly slanted diagonal lines, okay? And two curved lines like that to make the cheeks of the kitty cat. And the bottom of the mouth. Okay, so now here we're gonna go all the way up, a little bit past the top of the nose line. Okay, and you wanna do your best to make this even, but notice I'm not perfect either. These may not be even, it's okay, okay? And then we're gonna draw the ears at the top of the cat's head. Okay? Now Laurel Burch is different because she makes her eyes go from the nose all the way to the side of the face. And we talked about that in her stuff, how she did like human type eyes. So we're just gonna do a curved line that touches the nose and touches the side of the face. We're gonna do another curved line just like that one, but slightly less curved. And notice I'm going from point to point, point to point, okay? And now we're gonna do the bottom of the eye, so sort of like a football shape. Okay, next we're going to do the nostrils of the nose. And we're going to do the pupils and the iris of the eye. Okay, so the pupil is the black part of the eye, and the iris is this big colored part of the eye. Okay, and notice how you cannot see the entire iris of the eye. In humans, you cannot see the entire iris because that would be very abnormal if you could see the entire iris of your eye when your eyes are open. So that's not a normal, natural thing. So that's why we only see parts of it. It's sort of like parentheses inside the eye. Then we gotta do our whiskers. Okay, and now body time. Okay, so for this guy, we're gonna do an arching back. So we're gonna sort of start at the bottom of the cheek, and we're gonna do a really big curved arch that almost touches the top of the paper, okay? For this guy, we're gonna start kind of at the top of the cheek next to the eye, and we're gonna do like the front of a giant letter D, okay? And then for this guy, we're gonna go straight down under the mouth. And we're gonna draw two legs. And this is how Miss Burch does it, so we're doing it a lot like what she does. And for this, let's go ahead and do the tail. We're gonna curve around and sort of make like a curved line, like a backwards S, but not even really a backwards S, okay? And then we're also gonna close off this tail to make it actually look like a tail. But notice how I don't go all the way to the bottom. Let's go ahead and draw the arched body. And the other two legs back here. Okay, and here we're gonna go straight down underneath this left cheek. Okay, and we don't go all the way up here because this is like the armpit, and we don't go all the way to the mouth with the armpit. And then the other foot is right next to it. And notice how I had to kind of hop over that tail because it was in the way. Some of you may have a big space here, and if you do, that's totally fine, okay? If you do, you can just connect it with a curved line, okay? And then we're gonna draw the tail for this guy, and we're just gonna kind of make it be a curved tail. Okay, and then we'll draw the toes. Just 2 lines on each foot to designate the toes on the cat. Okay, so now the base of your cat is done, and what you're gonna do now is you're gonna sort of add some patterns, and you're gonna add real big patterns. You can divide your body up into sections if you want to. So that you can come up with some different patterns to add onto your cat. But what I don't want you doing is making really teeny tiny patterns, okay? So when I say big patterns, I mean big stuff that you could actually color in when you're coloring later on, okay? And so think about Laurel Burch's patterns. She does really simple stuff like circles, triangles was another one that she did a lot of. Squares, swirls, like this. She did really simple things, okay? And you could do an all over pattern. You could switch your patterns up. You kind of have some options as to how you can do your patterns and what you want to do with it, okay? You could even put a pattern up here on the face if you want to. Kind of like a forehead mask. You can even put something on the cheeks if you want to of the kitty cat, okay? You don't want to get too small and you don't want to get too detailed, so just be careful about how much you add and what you put on here so that you don't end up getting too crazy with your patterns, okay? We want to keep it really simple so that whenever it comes time for coloring and painting, we don't make it too hard for ourselves with what we have to do. Okay, so you're just gonna go in and add patterns on your cat, okay? And then I'll talk to you about what we're gonna do with coloring and painting later.